And we're back, and you are listening to Villaincast, BJJ Anti-Heroes, with myself, Chris the Villain Pains. And welcome to Reap the Week. Unfortunately, this is the second week that Naki has had some internet issues, but he has confirmed he is back for next week. Praise God. It's weird doing this on my own and not having my loyal companion here with me. But firstly, a thank you to our sponsors, the lovely patrons on Patreon. Thank you for believing in this work, and if you'd like to learn more about supporting this channel, along with receiving exclusive content such as the new episodes of How to Defend Everything 3.0, along with the webinars. So we did our first one Saturday, and it was awesome. I really enjoyed it. Everyone else seemed to enjoy it as well. Going forwards, there may be 2 of these a month. And I think the plan is, it's completely up to you, lovely patrons. The plan is that we do one seminar, which is voted on, and people can give ideas, and we vote on the seminar. And then we do a Q&A session as well. And we did a Q&A session this time round, and it was awesome. People were sending their questions live, and I was answering on the mats. We easily filled the hour. It could have gone longer. But yeah, so it's looking like it will be 2 webinars a month going forwards. And anything that's done is then saved onto the Patreon channel for people to look back on in the future. So it's going to be filled with Q&As and webinars and seminars and everything. So that's fantastic. Thank you to everyone who's been sending in questions via the Instagram. For this week's Reap the Week. I say unfortunately Naki isn't here to help answer them. So I'll do my best. First question. How would I approach teaching beginners hand fighting? Interesting question. I like this one. And I think it's a good start to the episode. So when it comes to hand fighting, I think it's important to look at it in the sense of, I think Greg Soder said it really well. What are we trying to do? We are attacking the periphery to gain access to center mass, to gain access to the spine. And once we've gained access to the spine, we then go back to attacking the periphery. So a lot of our submissions involve arms, legs, and head. So look at it from that angle then, as I'm trying to gain access to your center mass, the first thing I want to do. By that, I also want to deny you access to mine. I need to get past your joints, so I need to get past your wrists, I need to get past your elbows. Same with guard passing. Like this is interesting way of looking at it. It's the exact same as guard passing, in that if I want to gain access to center mass when you're on the floor, I need to get past your legs. And it's the moment I get past your knee, which the guard pass essentially happens. It's the exact same with hand fighting, as if I can gain access past your elbow, I then got access to your center mass and gain access to your armpits. So I'm always trying to find a way of isolating someone's elbow. So that's why a lot of the wrestling grips, such as Russian tie, arm drag, even collar and elbow, as I'm looking to get past your to control that center line, control past your elbows line to then gain access to your center mass. So I think as soon as you kind of explain that idea of, right, just get past their elbows, either go through the middle and get past their elbows, go underneath them, go around them. Pretty much exactly what you could say when it comes to guard passing is it's almost like grappling is universal. Is I need to get past in guard, I need to get past your knees, and I do that by either going over them, under them, around them, or through them. Pretty much exactly what you say about hand fighting. Is I need to get past your elbows to gain access to center mass, and I can either go over your elbows, under your elbows, around your elbows, or through the middle of your elbows. But either way, I'm getting access to your center mass. And yeah, so and then it's once you kind of incorporate that idea of hand fighting from standing and from the ground, is so flanking, center line, etc., controlling the elbows, making sure they don't get their elbows back. They don't re-guard with their hands. So you control center mass and then you progress forwards once you've controlled their spine. I like that. I think that's some interesting drills. Oh, wow, that's what a fantastic little start to the episode. I'm really happy with that. I may even just do lessons on that now. This is one of the things, like, when it comes to... I've always had an issue with making content in that anything I say, I know better by the time I've said it. And so people have like come back to me about stuff I made 4 years ago, 5 years ago now, with how to defend everything. Oh, you don't do this anymore. It's like, well, no. I got better. It's been 4 years. If you're allowed to go up maybe even 2-3 belts in 4 years, like white belt to blue belt to even purple belt, why can't I get better still just because I'm a black belt? I know we get stripes and shit, but that's just time. But yeah, so there we have it. I did one little sit down on a podcast thinking about hand fighting, and I like that new explanation. Oh, this is awesome. Thank you for giving me this place that I can talk about shit. Next question. What are some traits of toxic gym culture that are still maybe kind of pervasive in jiu-jitsu? Loads. There's so many. I think there's a question. It was actually something I saw on Facebook this earlier. It was something regarding teammates, like high-level UFC fighters on the same team, trying to go for the same belt, and there was a discussion on whether that's okay, because I know is it AKA, when we had Kane and DC would not fight in the same division, so DC dropped down to light heavyweight, and you had Khabib and Islam, and I think it was Leon Edwards and Ian Gary, I think it is, on the same team. I think Ian Gary is now left. Again, this is only just cursory. But I like the idea that... I don't like the idea that of teammates competing, because then again, why the fuck are we using the word team if we're not on the same team? Like, that idea that I'm here, I'm learning with you guys, we're on the same team, but give me a chance, I'll stab you in the back. Like, I'm coming for you. Like, that's... But we're only as good as our team. That's why we join our teams, is because those people around us make us better. And I think that can be, condensed down all the way down to gym level, regular, everyday person kind of jiu-jitsu, is where we are not looking at each other as a team. Like, okay, like I said before, we go to competitions and we support the team, we wear the red shield or whatever. But when it comes to being in the gym and rolling, it's like, no, fuck that person. And it's so horrible. Like, I cursory glances over Reddit regularly or Facebook or whatever, just where people talk about jiu-jitsu. The amount of people that say like, oh, this guy and girl in my gym who just crushes me or obliterates me, and I'm a 4-stripe white and they're a purple belt. And you think, what the fuck is happening? Like, why are we doing this? Like, look after each other. We're all friends just playing a game. Like, why do we have to completely obliterate our friends just to prove something? And it makes jiu-jitsu unpleasant for vast majority in the room, and you wonder why then people leave. And it's everything to do with culture is definitely from the top down. And Johnny Buck, one of the earliest podcasts we did on this, like 3-4 years ago now. 3 years ago? Pandemic, yes. He made a really good point of no one really stays, unless you're like a high-level athlete, no one ever stays at their jiu-jitsu gym for the jiu-jitsu. It's the social aspect. And I think all the kind of issues you normally have in jiu-jitsu clubs that you could call toxic traits are social aspects. And I think if you can fix, and you can go into, all manner of things like bullying, racism, sexism, etc. None of it is about jiu-jitsu. It's all social issues. In that as soon as you identify it's just social issues that has nothing to do with the jiu-jitsu, and it's a top-down approach of, right, in this room we are a family, that you're only here because of the social issue, the social warmth. If the social warmth wasn't there, people don't like to stay. So create the social warmth. Make it a team. Like, then you can make training as hard as you want. People will eat shit on the mats if the social aspect is good. Like, they'll have fantastic training. I'm not saying bully people, but, you know, if you have two people who just want to roll hard and, like, you know, be friends after it, you can roll hard. Like, the amount of times that, you know, I've had sessions with people on the mats, and we leather each other. You know, by the end of it, you think one of us should have died in that. And then we shake hands and, hey, that was fucking awesome. I can't walk. Like, it's all of it is a social construct issue, all of it. And I think as soon as you identify that is the problem, it's nothing to do with jiu-jitsu. It's, even when it's hard rolls and people being mean on the mats, it's still social issues. Because someone is disrespecting another person, then treat people like friends and everyone will be happy. But I guess the coach has to make sure that happens. In that, if the coach is a dick, people think it's okay to be a dick. Don't be a dick. Why am I the villain? I'm saying don't be a dick. Interesting. Next question. Day one class using the Bonsai Tree. So if you haven't heard the Bonsai Tree before, I've said it now in numerous places, and it's pretty much what the book's going to look like at this rate. It's just a tree. Is the different parts of jiu-jitsu being different areas on the tree. So like individual techniques and escapes being the leaves. And then you have the branches, which are your positions which lead into the leaves. Then you have the guard pass and the preach shit, which is like the top of the tree. I'm going to have to draw this down so people can see what I mean. I have made drawings of it already. And then the base of the tree is your balance and your posture. And the goal is to always fall out the tree and return to your balance and your posture when it comes to escapes. So I think, and it makes me appreciate how you would look at different parts of the tree. How you treat a branch isn't how you treat the trunk, isn't how you treat the leaves. The leaves are delicate and require attention to detail to clip, whilst the trunk just saw away at that motherfucker. And so that's how I then like to split the time in my head of what are we trying to focus on more? Balance and posture, because that's the most important thing. Like, if I can return to that and keep that and be immortal with that, nothing else matters. I'm just going to keep sawing away at this tree. Whilst the leaves, like, there's so many leaves and it's very detail orientated. So, even drilling, you look at the various aspects of the leaves, yes, and understand the fine details of what clipping a leaf means. So all the fine details of the techniques, which there are fine details. I'm not going to argue that. It'd be very hard to brute force your way into them. But at the same time, a lot of the other things, like guard passing or not falling over, that's chaos. And that requires that kind of ecological approach, constraint-led, just, right, I'm going to try and get you on the floor, keep your balance and stay upright. And we're gonna grind that out. And I think that's such a interesting way of then approaching jiu-jitsu, and then where you would start with someone. Because on day one, trying to introduce them to all the leaves, it's too much. And put your hands up if you listen to this and you remember your first day, and you remember even saying, like, well, I don't know what to do when it comes to sparring. Like, yeah, like, you're being thrown in the deep end because you're expected to be able to clip all these leaves and know these fine details about jiu-jitsu to win. But that's not the case. You need to be able to stay upright, stay balanced, stay postured. And if as soon as someone walks in on day one, I say to them, right, don't fall over. I've said this for years, even before I kind of knew this approach. Is they're saying, like, well, what do you want to do? I was like, just be on top. Just stay upright. Do not let yourself get rolled over. Stay the fuck upright. Stay on top. That's all I want you to do. No punching, no kicking, no biting, no scratching, no eye gouging, no fish hooking, no inserting appendages into orifices, no inappropriate touching, no touching the face. Be nice to the neck and joints. Don't grab fingers or toes. And I just wanted to just play like you're 8 years old and stay on top. That's all I wanted to do. Like, just pin me to the ground. We're not going to submit you, don't submit us. And that's all you want to think about. And if you start to fall over, get up as fast as you can. And that then starts that process of, right, okay, well, if I'm the person on top, there's a high chance I'm going to win. And everyone gets given that speech on day one, and everyone then helps the new person out with that idea. Like, right, okay, we're just going to put you on your ass, don't fall over. And that's enough. Don't try and break their mind. I know, especially when you start putting people into sparring and they get caught with stuff, that for those first few months, everyone wants to help the new guy out, new girl or whatever, is they want to get in and go, right, yeah, like, here you go, like, I do this technique. And you're like, whoa. You're drowning them in ideas. Like, they don't know what the fuck is happening. Like, I know you're excited, but just tell them to stay upright. That's the messaging. Just don't fall over and we'll be good. Next question. Getting past double lapel collar grips. I like it, but I don't think I can fully explain it in a podcast. I think that's definitely a technique video, and I would be happy to make it. Things have happened. So the reason this podcast is ever so slightly being delayed this morning is because on its release, Thursday morning, I had a large nail go into my foot. A good half an inch. Enough that it didn't wiggle whilst it was in my foot. There wasn't that much play. So in my usual slot to record a podcast, I was in the emergency room getting a tetanus shot. So that, and it was in the arch of my foot, and it's kind of gone through the tendon a little bit. It really hurts. And that has limited my ability to walk and do things, which actually thoughts is going on to this next question. This is going to be hilarious. Yeah, so I would like to make videos with that kind of stuff. Just give me some time. I kebabbed my own foot. It was a big-ass nail as well. Big nail. Ooh, I might put a picture of it on the Instagram. Like, it's tasty. So actually, that leads into the next question. Thoughts on non-resisted drilling when injured? I think that can come back to the Bonsai Tree quite happily. Is that, well, there's certain things that definitely have a more useful way of practicing when it comes to takedowns, etc. Not takedowns, but sorry. Well, yeah, takedowns. That's actually the last question. I was skipping ahead. Guard passing, staying balanced, postured, and that requires some resistance. That people, it requires some chaos to perform. Whilst individual techniques, like I wouldn't do the usual 3-step approach of position, setup, submission. That's just not my thing, because that should be ecological. Because it's chaos, I've got to find my way through a branch to that end point, to that leaf, and my route there is going to be usually chaotic, and there's multiple leaves I can end up on. So that is more constraint-led, ecological approach practice. But the individual details of finishing a submission, the very end, once you've got past the control, the minor control, into the submission, that requires some details. And that's something you can do injured. And that's something that, you don't really need resistance in there to kind of do it. It does help over time to make sure your control's good. But I'd say that's the kind of drilling I'd look at, is just understand where on the tree you should be applying yourself. If you can't do resisted drilling, aka constraint, ecological, aka base of the tree shit of staying the fuck upright, not losing your balance, being the person on top, getting past the knees for guard passing, getting past the elbows for hand fighting. Hey, like a bit of foreshadowing earlier. Absolutely, like that's not stuff that you could probably do while injured. I'll be able to tell you that later. But when it comes to fine details of like finishing chokes, making sure that you are positioned right, like if you're doing an arm triangle, make sure you've got open elbow. Absolutely, you can definitely do that drilling, non-resisted. And that's going to be essentially the idea of the book as well, is that we're going up into the tree and starting with ecological constraint-led games for the base of the tree stuff. More detail, like balanced detail, ecological when it comes to the branches, and then very detail when it comes to the finishing of the leaves. Oh, I'm so excited. There's so much stuff going into this book. Oh, gets me chills thinking about it, thinking of the work. Oh. Anyway, let me know if you're interested in this book still. Because I hate to be creating all this content and then find that no one's going to need it or use it. I just sits in my room doing nothing. That'd be frustrating. Speaking of merch that may be sitting in my room going nowhere, there will be a collaboration with a hopefully things go to plan, a collaboration with a rash guard manufacturer, a BJJ brand, not just a factory in the Middle East. So there will be a Chris Payne's Villain BJJ collaboration with this BJJ brand, and those rash guards will be on sale probably tail end of this year, beginning of next year. So yeah, if you are interested in that as well, let me know. Otherwise, just more stuff sitting in my room along with some unsold books. Oh, right. Next, tips on getting into offense after being in defense. And I think as well, we're back to the bonsai tree, is knowing where you should be going. And what they've done to you. So, again, stuff on the book. The very base of the tree is balance and posture. Do not fall over. Do not lose your posture. If you do lose your posture and fall over, you're now on the ground. If you can get back to it, fantastic. Get the fuck up. Fall out of this tree. Get back to your balance and posture. If you can't, at that point, you need to use your legs to defend yourself, create space, create distance. If you can get up, fantastic. If they get past your legs and that version of hand fighting and get past your knees, they're now into the upper branches. And this is where preach shit kind of comes in. Like the initial stuff that I talked about 4 years ago. Deny them access to your armpits. Deny them access to center mass. That's essentially what preach shit was denying access to center mass. Like, I'm not letting you into my armpits. I'm not letting you into my sides, into my spine. I'm not letting you get good purchase on my neck. Like, this is the goal right here, is to stop you getting access to center mass. If I've done that, I can then create space again. I'm then going to return back to my balance and posture. So that's the defensive postures into offense again, is I can't generate power in jiu-jitsu without posture and balance. It's not possible. Like, you try, even in guard. If you want to kick someone away in guard, what do you do first? You straighten out your spine to push them away. It's unavoidable. You can't generate good power without good spinal alignment. It's just not a thing. Ask anyone who's ever lifted anything ever. And how many people have thrown their backs out. You can see my old firefighter training in here when it came to just getting bashed in the head of manual handling on a daily basis. So your goal is to return to posture, spinal alignment, generate power again. And you're probably having your posture fucked with, because that's what we do again. It's boiling down what we do in jiu-jitsu. So going back to even what I said right at the beginning on this, on hand fighting, is why do we want to gain access to center mass? Why do we want to gain access to joints? Like the core joints especially, like shoulders and hips and knees, is we want to affect someone's balance and posture. If I can affect your neck and your hips and your spine, the tail ends of your spine. I think Chris Houghton said it on a video years ago. Like, why do we control the head and the hips? It's just the tail ends of the spine. If I can control your head and your hips, I control your spine. And if I control your spine, I can affect your posture. And that's why we do what we do. Is I said this in a seminar at the weekend. Horizon BJJ. Hey John. Boiling down why we do jiu-jitsu. Now, I said it earlier, like, trying to get past the periphery to attack center mass, control center mass to get back to the periphery. But even like on a more base level, why do we do jiu-jitsu? And that is, we take people to the ground. Why do we take people to the ground? It's because we want to limit their ability to generate power. And our ability to generate power is, if we have connection to the ground, we can generate power. You ask anyone who boxes, you don't just box with your fist, it's your drive for your legs that creates the power and the punch. If you're on ice, you ain't punching as hard. So you take people into the ground. We then go through a situation where we have to get past their periphery, yes, their hands and legs, to then gain access to centre mass. Once we gain access to centre mass, we then affect their posture and their ability to generate power even more. They've lost their connection to the ground. Now we're going to mess up their ability to generate power by unaligning their spine. That's why, all those things that we do with the head and the hips, like unaligning them, twisting them, crushing them, bending them, whatever. We do that to limit their power even more. And we're also using gravity on our side and our ability to still generate power through connection to the ground, generate power through gravity, and generate power through our own spinal alignment to then overpower this person. Once we've overpowered them enough and completely negated their power, we then flick to attacking the periphery again, attacking the joint, not breaking bones, but affecting ligaments and tendons in the joints, or attacking the neck to constrict blood flow to the brain. Jiu-Jitsu 101. That's why we do what we do. So it's understanding where you are on that and how you're being affected by it. And if you have been taken down, your ability to generate power is gone because you have no balance and connection to the ground. If they then affected your posture by attacking your centre mass, you need to get them out of control of your centre mass. Simple enough. And create space and put them back down past your knees and your elbows. Once you've done that, you need to rebuild your connection to the ground and your balance and get the fuck upright again. Doing that is carnage. I can't prescribe individual techniques because it is carnage all of the time. And that's going back from defense to offense. Don't try and attack when you haven't got posture and balance, because if they've got power, it's a Hail Mary. It's a luck thing. And I'm not trying to teach people to be reliant on luck. Let's go for good, honest strategy on this one. Finally, and thank you for this question, would I be good to explain takedowns again? For what I know, yes. If anyone's listened to this, and the first part of this episode, the main part of this episode, is I'm trying to get past trying to get access to centre mass. As soon as I get access to centre mass, I'm going to use that to affect your balance and posture. So underhooks, overhooks, attacking the head, attacking behind the knees. I want to unbalance you with your connection to the ground. I think, again, there's a video on this. It's definitely on the Patreon. Plug. I might have to do the actual video as well, but stealing off Gareth McNamara. He's an Irish Judo black belt, and he's a BJJ black belt. He did a fantastic class at the Globetrotters Winter Camp this year, 2023. Is that the year? I've been hitting the head too much. And he explained judo using a cross on the floor and about creating pressure through perpendicular angles. So as soon as I align your legs, I find the perpendicular angle and I either push you over or drag you over, and that's a lot of basic judo. So when it comes to takedowns, again, I want to gain access to center mass by either flanking by over, under, around, or through the elbows, getting control of the spine in some way by the head or body or hips, and then looking for that line between the heels and either putting you over and creating a perpendicular force to it, so either send you over or push you over or pull you over. And it's also easier to attack the front leg than it is the back leg, because the front leg is definitely more exposed. You'd have to travel a lot further to get to the back leg. If you make the back leg, fantastic. They were asleep at the wheel. But attacking the front side. And again, that's, if there's a video recently of Gordon Ryan walking around with his arms down, and it makes sense. Like, again, he's aligned his spine, he's got good posture, he can't go behind his head easily because he's upright, and he's still got that down block that saves his front side. And he's looking for short hand fighting to get past the other guy's elbows. Yeah, good. I like it. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say, good job, Gordon Ryan. You know what you're doing. Like, he definitely doesn't know what he's doing. Like, I'm just trying to read what he's doing and apply it to, explain it to the masses. I think there was a video recently that I put onto the YouTube channel about standing up and doing the down block. Some people have commented on it. It might be on the Patreon again. I make so many videos, I forget where I put them all. But I may have to do another. So if you'd like to see that video about just basic down blocks and flanking, please send in requests. Same with everything else, like same with the double lapel collar grip stuff. We are getting into gi season. It's getting cold in the UK right now, so the gi is definitely going to be coming out. But anything you ever want to see video wise, send me requests, and if I can record it, I'll record it. And same with the seminar ideas on Patreon. If you want to watch one of these webinars and you want to send in your ideas for me to cover something, or you want to jump in on one of the Q&As, like if there's something that's bothering you, jump in, let's do some stuff. This has been Villaincast. This has been Reap the Week with just myself, Chris the Villain Pains. Thank you for your time. Thank you for jumping in and still getting something out of this work. It's mad that we are here 4 years after How to Defend Everything, and it's just grown. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. Again, thank you for your time and enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you.